Hi everyone, it's Rose Grigg from Griggs Road Elementary. Today we're going to work on a drawing from observation. We are going to look closely at the shapes that we see, try and draw basic details, then go back and add more details as we go, learning how to build on the shapes. When you draw from observation, you're trying to create a realistic drawing. One of the other things we're going to focus on today is creating a more interesting composition. We really haven't worked on composition a lot before. Composition is how things are laid out on the page, what you decide to include and what you decide to leave out. Sometimes it makes the drawing a lot more dynamic than it would be if it was just right in the middle of your page. So what are we going to draw today? Well, we're going to be drawing simple machines that you find around your house. Maybe not what you think.
You could draw a toaster. You could draw the washing machine. You could draw an iron. You could draw a stable remover. You could even draw a pair of wire cutters if you found those to be interesting.
So the simple machine that I decided to draw today was this old-fashioned telephone. We keep it around the house only because I find it really interesting. It was in my husband's grandmother's house. That's right, my children's great-grandmother's. She was still using it. She lived to be 98 and would call us on this rotary phone fairly regularly. So, although we don't use it, it's a wonderful thing to look at. One of the things I find interesting about this is the shape of it. So it almost looks as if the body of the phone is a rectangle and it gets smaller as you get toward the top. There's three overlapping circles getting progressively smaller, almost like a radial design in the middle. And then the part that you talk into kind of has this interesting quality because it has half circles in the place where you would put your ear and your mouth. And then there's this angle that makes it look like it's going back in space to give it that three-dimensional look. So I'm going to try and recreate that on my page. Okay, so you can see that all I have is a white sheet of paper. Instead of drawing the phone directly in the middle, I'm actually going to start only drawing half of the phone so it looks like it is going off of the page. And I'm going to start with the base of the phone going up, getting smaller. Remember I said we're going to start basic and then we're going to adjust the lines as we go. And you can see that this is not going to be the whole phone, but rather part of the phone going off the page. Okay, so you can see that I kind of went in and I straightened up my lines a little bit. And I tried to make some of the lines a little darker so you could see the angles. One of the things I like to do when I'm drawing from observation is to kind of look for basic shapes. So down here, as you can see, this is rounded. Now the tricky part is going to get the receiver in here is kind of tricky. I like to look at where one line meets another, and the bottom of the receiver actually is overlapped by where you hang it up. I don't know what that part's called. And then there's a slight curve and a bend. And one of the things I always tell my students when we're drawing from observation is you can't draw what you don't see. You're drawing what you see. And you can always go back and make corrections. We're drawing with pencil, drawing light till you get it right. And this kind of goes up at an angle here. And it meets this, and then the handle wraps around up here. I'm definitely going to have to go back and work on my proportions of the handle a little, but I like to make adjustments as I go. And one of the things I see is if I change this angle so that it's actually going inverted and not out, that makes a huge difference, and it makes it look a lot more actually like what I see when I'm looking at the receiver. Now, one of the trickiest parts of drawing this old-fashioned phone is trying to fit in that rotary dial. Circles are difficult. I'm only going to be doing a half a circle or a semicircle. And when I look at where it fits in on the phone, the big part of the rotary dial takes up a large portion of the phone, and then the smaller one echoes it in the center, and then you have a smaller one. As I look at where the cord of the phone comes out, it comes out here, and we start to wrap the cord. I'm going to do a single kind of spiral and go back and add my details. Now my goal is to make this as realistic as possible without worrying about it being perfect. You'll notice in doing the angle where my composition goes off the page, I don't have to worry about symmetry. Both sides of my phone don't have to be the same because I'm not drawing both sides. Okay, so I'm going to speed it up from here. Okay, so I could probably continue to work on this and add details and shadows for quite a long time. I'm going to continue to work on it and trying to refine some of the details, and I suggest you do the same. I hope you can find a simple machine that seems interesting to you to draw from observation. Set up your composition so maybe it's not the whole machine, just maybe a part of it that seems a little more interesting, catches your eye. One of the things to look at is how one shape meets another. Look for those highlights and shadows. Practice doing some of your hatching and your crotch hatching, adding some value. If you're a person that likes color, you can add color in. Realism is fun. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of exploring that power of observation using those artist eyes. Good luck. Can't wait to see your creations.